Hey guys, Noel here, and it is Monday, and while I have a little bit of free time on my hands because my wife is sick and I had to take the day off of work, and I'm caught up with my grading, I thought it would be fun to do a review for the anime and review section for the Noel ComiX YouTube channel. Recently, I finished watching the very cool JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Stone Ocean on Netflix. Yeah. There's Whitesnake right there, so he's about to go out again on his own on the only road he's ever known, right there. So, anyway, I have enjoyed JoJo's Bizarre Adventure for a few years right now after really getting into the anime thanks to Pluto TV. And even before that, growing up in the 90s and early 2000s, I just remember like hearing about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I'd buy Japanese magazines that had JoJo's Bizarre Adventure stuff on it just because I thought it looked interesting. Like, this is an actual issue of Ultra Jump I ordered when I was in college off Anime Nation. And I used to have a subscription to Animerica Extra, which had some articles about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure I remember reading. So, Stone Ocean is part 6 of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and the final JoJo in the original timeline. So, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, if you don't know, which I'm watching this, I'm sure you do know, started in 1987 as a Fist of the North Star inspired manga, because Fist of the North Star was the anime manga style du jour of the late 80s in Shonen Jump. So basically, you had Fist of the North Star set in Victorian England with vampires. And I actually live in the hometown of Ronnie James Dio, so I'm always very excited to talk about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure because I'm from the place where Ronnie Dio is from, Cortland, New York. So there's some fun referencing right there. In fact, I go by Dio Way. There's legitimately a street named after Ronnie Dio in my town called Dio Way, so I always get all happy whenever I pass that. Anyway, so Stone Ocean takes place. It was written in 2000 to I think 2003, and it takes place in 2011. So we're like way down the line from the late 1800s when the original JoJo story was written. But there's this kind of recurring pattern of the descendants of the protagonists from the original JoJo, the Joestars fighting the disciples of Dio, the evil, megalomaniacal, uh, philosophical, blonde, sociopathic vampire. Um, so one of Araki, the mangaka's interests, who made JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, I remember seeing in an interview was prison life, particularly women's prisons. Go figure. I don't know. So he liked Italy and women's prisons, and I remember seeing him talk about those things. And I want to say I saw him talk about those things in the interviews at the end of the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure OVAs in the early 90s. And sure enough, Stone Ocean takes place in a women's prison with the daughter of the main character of part 3 of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, the most famous part of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, shonen anime icon Jotaro Kujo. So his daughter, Jolene Kujo, everything in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is a music reference. So, Dolly Parton's song Jolene. So we have Jolene Kujo. She's arrested, and this whole thing takes place in a women's prison. So what ends up happening is Jotaro realizes that his daughter has been falsely imprisoned, and he goes in to rescue her. He understands that he is being drawn into the prison. His daughter's being used as bait by Dio's disciples. Dio's long dead. Jotaro killed him in part 3. But his disciples linger on, so he goes into the prison to rescue his daughter, and the evil prison chaplain uses his stand Whitesnake to slice CDs out of Jotaro's face that contain his memory and his stand power, knocking him into a coma, meaning that Jolene has to rescue her father, who at one point was estranged from her, but it was really because he was trying to keep her distant from him and his entanglements with Dio and his followers. So, stand users in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure are drawn together, so it's kind of inevitable. There's a kind of a theme of fate that runs through JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. So, it's very, very interesting story. Now, Netflix is the medium that shows JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Stone Ocean, which means that people in the United States actually get to watch this a month before people in Japan, which is insane because I've always been in the situation of being the guy in the United States who doesn't get to see the anime that he likes because it's in Japan, and so I'm always like trying to find fan subs or go on shady websites and try to like live stream it from Japan Raw or something like that. But we're actually in a situation now where I can legitimately see the best anime from Japan just coming out right away. I mean, I have Crunchyroll and stuff like that, so that's good. Things are definitely getting better as the globalization has kind of taken effect when it comes to anime. But yeah, so it being on Netflix, my main issue is the closing credits. Netflix has this horrible habit of trying to force you to watch the next episode against your will by cutting out the closing credits of what you're watching. It'll just say, "Oh, go to the next episode," and you don't even get to see the closing credits. But for JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, the closing credits are always Western songs that the mangaka Hirohiko Araki find thematically appropriate for the story, so they're really exciting to listen to because they're American songs, but are being portrayed in the way that anime ending credits would be. So you get a very interesting mishmash of East and West, and it's very, very cool. So I was super annoyed when Netflix kept trying to kick me out of the closing credits. So I'm constantly watching Stone Ocean, scrambling for the remote control whenever the closing credits of Stone Ocean start, so I can hear the closing credits. Um, there are 12 episodes thus far in Stone Ocean. Now, I'm not sure if this is going to come out completely in chunks, so we're going to get 12 episode chunks, or if this is going to start rolling out episode by episode once it starts coming out in Japan. I don't know. But either way, we've gotten our deposit of Stone Ocean episodes for the month of December, 12 episodes, and they're very good. Now, I have not read the manga cover to cover. I have watched some cinemanga of Stone Ocean on YouTube. I've looked at some scans. I've hopped around the story. I've read the plot synopsis on Wikipedia. I've watched a lot of Hamo and Beat videos on YouTube about Stone Ocean. So I like Stone Ocean. I love the artwork on Stone Ocean. That the one of Jotaro getting hit by White Snake is one of my favorite pictures in any manga. And there's a really wonderful picture of like Jolene on Jotaro's back, which I think is one of the coolest pictures from any shonen anime. For a long long time, it was my wallpaper on my PS4. In fact, I think I'm going to put it back to being my wallpaper on my PS4. Anyway, so basically, the synopsis of Stone Ocean is Jotaro is rescuing Jolene. He's knocked out of commission. Jolene is trying to get his memory disk and stand disk to the Speedwagon Foundation, and we're in the beginnings of the Dio disciple, the prison chaplain, Father Pucci, and his stand Whitesnake, um, basically using the kind of the typical, stand user of the week hitman, methodologies to attack the main characters from completing their task, similar to what Dio did and similar to what Diavolo did in parts 3 and 5. Uh, Netflix has a very kind of progressive agenda to their shows. And a lot of the time they do it very ham-fistedly, but Stone Ocean kind of did a lot of progressive stuff organically through its storytelling, just I think to kind of mix things up. And it wasn't, I don't even think intentionally trying to be progressive. I just think this was stuff that Araki found interesting, and it ended up kind of merging with a lot of Netflix agenda type stuff. So I think there's a reason. Haven't researched this at all, but if you look at the kind of the themes in the show, structurally speaking, they merge very nicely with the kind of stuff that Netflix likes to push. So, for example, like a lot of people were mad about He-Man Masters of the Universe because, He-Man got sidelined and the main characters were Teela and Evil Lyn. And so there's all this subtext about, feminism and female empowerment and things like that. And Netflix also tends to be very secular, sometimes anti-religious. A lot of these streaming services, and more kind of have more kind of cosmopolitan politics within them. And the villain in Stone Ocean is the prison chaplain. So we have kind of an anti-clerical theme in the anime, not against the Catholic Church at all, but against the idea like the bad guy's a priest. So you have the main character, the male character getting sidelined. So you have female protagonist, sidelined male character. Bad guy is a representation of religion and Christianity. So I could see why Netflix would be attracted to this story. Also, later on in the story, you're going to start getting the Ku Klux Klan involved, so they can start referencing a theme that a lot of people who hate Donald Trump like to throw at him, that he's some kind of Klan member or something. I don't know, whatever. I don't want to get into that. It's not true, but whatever. Anyway, so what I'm saying is these themes of female protagonist and sidelined male protagonist and villainous priest, they all work fantastically in Stone Ocean because they don't come off as being like ham-fisted political narrative. They're just things that the creator found interesting and useful as ways to further develop his story, which had been going on for decades. The stand battles in Stone Ocean are very, very good. Really, they get more and more and more intricate with each series. So in this season, or this block of episodes from Stone Ocean, you get the Manhattan transfer fight, where you have a blind guy using the wind to basically guide bullets to kill people. You have the Goo Goo Dolls fight, where you have a female prisoner who can basically shrink people into animal corpses and force them to do her bidding. You have the Marilyn Manson fight, where you have a ghost cash register that takes people's organs as payment for lost bets. You have the Jumping Jack Flash fight, where people are thrown into zero gravity and suffocate. You have the villainous Whitesnake stand, which I love the band Whitesnake, so I'm very, 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 very excited whenever I hear like Whitesnake, So, yeah, and another great thing about this is even though the male main character is sidelined, it's done in a way that's very reminiscent of Metal Gear Solid 2, the Sons of Liberty, where the kind of the godlike legendary main character, it's almost like you're helping him because you look up to him, kind of thing. And so Jotaro is, portrayed as kind of like the ultimate person, ultimate stand user. But misfortune befalls him because he's trying to protect his daughter, and there's this very interesting dynamic where Jotaro is very stoic, and Jolene is very like kind of tough and angry, but you really see that Jotaro like really deeply loves Jolene, and then Jolene doesn't really know Jotaro that well, but she can sense that he's trying to break her out of jail, and she's finally getting to be with the father that she never really got to be around, and so she wants to save him. So there's some really powerful parent-child themes in this anime, mixed in with a lot of just extremely creative fights, beautiful artwork. Araki is known for drawing his like pro wrestler glam metal fishnet makeup dudes. So you really get to see Araki try his hand at women some more. Now he draws really pretty women like Lisa and Holly and Midler, and Koichi's girlfriend from the fourth arc. So I mean he knows how to draw pretty girls. So you get to see him do some of that in Stone Ocean, which is interesting. So you get to see him really maximize his artistic range, drawing both sexes. So, yeah. So Stone Ocean's fantastic. I have nothing but good things to say about it. The closing credits might be a little anticlimactic. I get all the symbolism behind it. It's Distant Dreamer by Duffy. A lot of fans have been uploading some really exciting stuff like Ocean Man and Easy Lover and It's My Life as potential closing credits for the series, but Distant Dreamer is a very kind of pretty song. I would say that I don't really want that to be the only closing credits to this show because I really want to see Ocean Man. I like Distant Dreamer is very pretty. If you know the ending of the manga, I'm not going to get into too many spoilers, but there is a very consequential fight that takes place on the ocean where some very, very important stuff happens, and some sad stuff happens, and some interesting stuff happens that's not so sad. And so all of this is, they're just showing this ocean happening, and they're playing this, really pretty song from the late aughts, the late 2000s. So it's nice. It works very well. It's very poignant and meaningful, but it's not quite the excitement you get hearing Savage Garden at the end of the fourth story of JoJo, or Walk Like an Egyptian. And I mean, Last Train Home. Everyone talks about how sad that is, but like, I love Last Train Home. That's such a cool ending, and it's relaxing and energetic and thought provoking all at the same time. So it's good stuff. So actually, we have to, before I go, watch this one scene here. Hopefully, we don't get in trouble here. So, what do I say here? What do I give the first 12 episodes of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Stone Ocean on a scale of 1 to 10? I give this a 7,000. It's fantastic. Can't watch it enough, and I can't wait for more episodes to come out. It'll be really cool is if they do an alternate ending where Giorno, Dio's, bastard son from Golden Wind, comes in and uses gold experience and kills Poochie and saves everyone. That'd be a fantastic alternate ending. So, I don't know. It won't happen, but I could. Who knows? Until next time, guys, my name is Noel. You take care. Watch lots of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and I'll see you in the very near future. Bye-bye.